Taylor Swift sat at the kitchen table in their Kansas City home, sunlight spilling through the big window that looked out over the frozen yard. Her laptop was open, her phone pressed to her ear, her voice calm but tense as she spoke with her management team. It was January 20th, 2026, and the Recording Academy had just offered her something no artist had ever been given before, a 20-minute Grammy performance that would celebrate her entire career, from her Nashville beginnings to her global pop reign. It wasn't just another performance. It was legacy. It was history. It was the kind of moment artists dream about their whole lives. "Yes, I understand the schedule," Taylor said, flipping through notes on her screen. January 28th through February 9th in Europe for rehearsals, and then the show in Los Angeles on February 10th. "I'll make it work." As she spoke, the kitchen door opened and Travis Kelce walked in, still wearing his chief practice gear, a sheen of sweat on his forehead. He instantly felt the tension in her voice, the kind of quiet storm that meant something big was happening. He grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, waited for her to hang up, then leaned against the counter. "What was that about?" he asked. Taylor looked up, her expression a mix of excitement and anxiety. "The Grammys," she said softly. "They want me to do a career retrospective performance. 20 minutes. Full orchestra. Huge staging. It's everything I've ever wanted." Travis smiled, genuinely at first. "That's incredible, babe. That's huge." But when Taylor bit her lip, he felt a drop in his stomach. "That's the problem," she said quietly. "Rehearsals start January 28th. The performance is February 10th. Travis froze. He didn't need to check his phone to know what that meant. The AFC Championship game, the conference finals, was February 2nd. And if the Chiefs won, the Super Bowl would be February 9th. "Taylor," he said slowly, "those are conference finals. And maybe Super Bowl weekend." "I know," Taylor whispered. "But Travis, this is once in a lifetime. The Recording Academy has never offered anything like this. It's basically a coronation, the kind of honor you only get once. And the Super Bowl," Travis said, voice steady but sharp, "could be my 4th championship ring. You know how rare that is? How few players ever get even one." "I know it's important," Taylor started, but Travis's jaw tightened. "Important?" he echoed. "Taylor, this could define my legacy. This could put me in the conversation for greatest tight end of all time. And you're telling me you won't be there?" Taylor blinked, her chest tight. "I'll be there for the Super Bowl if you make it," she said quickly. "I can fly back for the game. It's just the conference finals I'd miss." Travis stared at her, disbelief creeping in. "Just the conference finals? You mean the game that decides whether we even make it to the Super Bowl?" His voice rose, the hurt behind it breaking through. "The game that might be the most important of my career." "Travis," Taylor said, standing now, her own frustration bubbling up. "You have games every week during football season. This is one performance, one night, that represents my entire life's work." He shook his head. "And how many of my games have you been to, Taylor? Dozens? Hundreds? I've rearranged everything for you. I've flown to your concerts on my days off. I've sat in stadiums for hours, in the rain, just to support you." "Don't do this," Taylor pleaded, her voice cracking. "The one time I'm asking you to be there, for what might be the biggest moment of my career, you're choosing your work over me," Travis said, his tone hard but trembling. "That's not fair," she snapped. "You have no idea how much I've given up for this relationship. I've scheduled my tours around your season, spent more time in Kansas City than in my own home. I've made your career a priority in every possible way." "Except when it actually matters," Travis shot back. "Except when I actually need you." The silence after that line was deafening. Broken heart, and that was the moment the cracks began to show. The moment when love met ambition, and neither one wanted to lose. Before we continue, have you ever been in a relationship where both people's dreams demanded everything? Taylor stood frozen in the middle of the kitchen, the air between them sharp and heavy. The same kitchen that once smelled like pancakes and laughter now felt like a war zone. Travis's water bottle sat forgotten on the counter, the condensation dripping onto the marble like a ticking clock. "That's not true," Taylor said finally, her voice trembling but firm. "I have been there for you. Constantly. But Travis, this is my career. This is what I've worked my whole life for. You can't ask me to walk away from that. And I've worked my whole life for this, Travis shot back louder now. Do you have any idea how hard I've fought to get here? How many times I've played through pain, through injuries, through everything? And you're telling me your one performance means more than that. Taylor's eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. I never said it meant more, Travis. I'm saying they're both important. Why does one of us always have to give something up? Because that's what relationships are, Travis said, his voice breaking. They're about showing up when it matters most. You've been to what, 30 of my games this season? But this one time, this one game that could define everything, you're saying no. You're not being fair, Taylor said, wiping her face with the back of her hand. You're acting like I never support you, like I'm selfish. But I've given up so much already. I've turned down projects, rescheduled tours, built my life around your schedule. And the one time I ask you to understand me, you make me feel guilty for it. Maybe you should feel guilty, Travis said before he could stop himself. The words came out sharp and raw, slicing through the air like glass. Taylor's breath hitched. Her face went pale. What did you just say? Taylor, get out, she said, her voice suddenly calm but cold, the kind of calm that comes after an emotional storm. Taylor, I didn't mean. Yes, you did. She cut him off, her eyes blazing now. You meant every word. You think I should feel guilty for chasing my dreams? For saying yes to the opportunity of a lifetime? You think I should sit here like some supportive girlfriend, smiling from the stands while you chase yours? But God forbid I chase mine. That's not what I'm saying, Travis said, his voice softening, but the damage was done. Then what are you saying? Taylor demanded. Because from where I'm standing, it sounds like you're saying your career matters more than mine. That your dreams come first. That I should drop everything and just be there when you need me. But not the other way around. It's not just a game, Taylor, Travis said, his voice rising again. It's the conference finals. Maybe even the Super Bowl. You know what that means to me. And it's not just a performance, Travis, she said fiercely. It's the Grammy Awards. It's 20 years of work. It's the Recording Academy honoring my entire career. But apparently, that doesn't matter because it conflicts with your schedule. They stood there, both breathing hard, their eyes glassy, their voices shaking. I've been to every single one of your milestones, Travis said finally, quieter now, like the fight was draining out of him. Every album release. Every award show. Every time you needed someone, I was there. All I asked was that you be there this once. Taylor swallowed hard. Her voice came out small. I can't, Travis. I can't turn down the Grammys. This is too big. Travis's face went blank. Then I guess you've made your choice, he said softly. I guess I have, Taylor whispered. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Travis picked up his keys from the counter, his jaw tight, eyes dark. Where are you going? Taylor asked, even though part of her didn't want to know. Jason's, he said, his tone flat. I can't be here right now. Travis, I need space, Taylor. We both do. Before we say something we can't take back. Taylor's lips trembled. I think we already did, she whispered. Travis hesitated at the door, hand on the knob. Where love and legacy collided, and there was no right answer. Because what happens next, no one saw coming. For a heartbeat, she thought he might turn back, say something, fix it all. But instead, he opened the door and walked out. Taylor stood there listening to the sound of his truck starting, the garage door opening, the engine fading into the distance. Then she sank into a chair, buried her face in her hands, and cried harder than she had in years. For the next 3 days, they barely spoke. Just short texts, about logistics, about practice, about her flight to London. Nothing real. Nothing that could heal what had broken. Taylor threw herself into Grammy prep. Zoom meetings, choreography calls, production notes. Anything to drown out the silence. But every night, when her laptop closed and the room went quiet, she caught herself staring at her phone, hoping it would light up with his name. It never did. And then came January 24th, the day that changed everything.